You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
So either way, when you get old, he doesn't do it before that.
You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by.
You know, it becomes a no-one. I have the police department report, but I sent it to the trustees rather than trying to save a tree.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappers Falls second monthly meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today is Wednesday, April 29th. May you please stand for the pledge.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for two lifelong residents that passed away recently. Lifelong resident Timmy Laffin has been removed from our midst, our friend and faithful servant. Timmy bringing to an untimely end of life filled with kindness and courtesy. Throughout a long career of public service, former village DPW employee and village fire chief, Timmy earned the respect, admiration, and high regards of all of those with whom he came in contact, who were proud to call him friend. Second, lifelong, age 100, resident Teresa Morgan passed away peacefully last week. Teresa opened a flower business in the village that is commonly referred to today as Rosemary's Flower Shop on West Main Street in the village. Thank you. Any recognition, special events, Mayor, Board?
I don't have anything. Anybody got anything for board?
No.
Roll call. Mayor Huber.
Present.
Trustee McCormick. Trustee Shimento.
Here.
Trustee Nesnick.
Here.
Trustee Serino.
Present.
Trustee Vanka.
Here.
Trustee Tilishek.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Just one thing before we get started about public comment. The public may speak only during the public comment periods of the meeting or at such time the majority of the board allows. Speakers must step up to the front of the room. Speakers must give their name, address, the identity of their organization. Speakers must be recognized by the presiding officer. Speakers must limit their remarks to 3 minutes per public comment period. Depending on the number of people who wish to speak on a specific subject, at the discretion of the mayor, time limits of 2 minutes per person or other similar time frame may be applied to each speaker. Speakers may not yield any remaining time to another speaker. Board members may, with the permission of the mayor or presiding officer, interrupt a speaker during their remarks, but only for the purpose of clarification of information. All remarks must be addressed to the board as a body and not to a specific member thereof or the audience. Speakers must observe the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. Thank you, and that applies to everyone. Okay, authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
Get a motion?
Make the motion with one exception.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to remove the public hearing and resolution adopting the local law exceeding the tax cap as they are no longer necessary.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 2826 of 2026, resolution adopting the annual budget for fiscal year 26-27. I have a motion.
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Two seconds.
I
I did.
make a motion.
Ryan.
Ryan
Opposed?
seconded it.
Carried.
Okay, roll call vote on that one. Mayor Huber.
Aye.
Trustee McCormick. Trustee Cemento.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnick.
Aye.
Trustee Sereno. Trustee Vanka.
Aye.
Trustee Tilishak.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 2426 of 2026, authorizing a re-levy of unpaid water, sewer, and sanitation charges. Can I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Resolution number 2526 of 2026, resolution ratifying appointment of the Village of Wappingers Falls Associate Justice.
Get a motion?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Make sure I got them all. Okay, discussion, eliminate senior water rate discount program. Trustee Vanka.
I was just asking a question. Sorry, my fault.
I actually distributed the amounts of money that would be saved by the village, and I've recused myself from any conversation, but I know that everybody wants to discuss it, so. Sorry?
Yes, we do.
All right.
So does
Then we can come up to the mic, please.
You mean to tell me after all these years, you're gonna take this away from the seniors that are getting it?
What's the discussion right now?
Okay, well, that's what we're discussing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make that much money, taking it away from them? You'll never make the money that you people need.
I think the discussion is not taken away, but making sure we have clear standards and guidelines on who qualifies for these discounts, so that there's some type of accountability in making sure that everyone's being held to the same standards. There's nothing wrong with the discount, but we do need to have some type of procedure or protocol to follow. You just can't say we're gonna give it to her because we know her. There needs to be standards and guidelines in the application process to be able to put that.
Can I just ask you, there were clear rules that were read at the beginning of the meeting. So if anybody has something to say, if you could please just step up to the mic, state your name, and then we'd be more than happy to listen to it.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I live at 2577 South Avenue. I've lived here about 4 years. I've come from Westchester County. I lived in Peekskill, which I owned a home there as well. And I just have to say, I've never seen so much drama in the town before in my life. And I've walked across the street because some of the things that is occurring is quite concerning to me. Not only as someone who's moved here to provide a better life for my family, but also seeing the increase of bills and taxes within her home in the past 4 to 5 years. So I don't think there's any issue with us having a discount for senior citizens, but I also think there should be clear guidelines on how they would be able to qualify, and it needs to be transparent and have some type of way for people to apply and a process and a due diligence. So no, we don't want to take it away from senior citizens, but we do need to have some type of accountability on who qualifies, when was this implemented, and how this discount came about, and how other people could be informed if this is something that is available to people. So I think that's the concern here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Charlie's got one.
I don't understand. My concerns are the same, but I won't speak so eloquently.
Please state your name, sir.
Charles Ferry.
Thank you.
So the senior discount is only 190 residents getting it. There's no guidelines on who gets it, but I do know that one current board member and 2 board members who just left get that discount, but the regular citizens don't know about it. And it's been going on for years that 190 hand-picked people are getting it. So I hear that the reason that you get the discount is because you have Enhanced Star. If you have Enhanced Star, you can apply for this discount. But the 2 trustees who just got off the board don't get Enhanced Star, but they get their senior discount on the water. So there needs to be a complete audit done here, an investigation to how this happened. How did somebody make a decision that wasn't approved by this village board to give certain people discounts on their water rates? That could be criminal. That needs to be investigated by this board, how it came to be, and how people learned about it and got put on the list when other people didn't. This isn't just a matter of, oh, we got caught now, let's just change everything. No, I want to know how these people got the discounts and how this came to be. There's nothing in the village records other than in 2023, Trustee Smith made a motion that went to the village attorney that said, you know, we should include the non-residents should be eligible for this discount. The village attorney was going to look into writing a law, but that never happened. So back in 23, Smith knew that this was on the books and that people were getting the discount. Nothing on the website, nothing in the water bill. It's just like if somebody told you through word of mouth in Village Hall, apparently, then you got the discount. So there should be an investigation on who decided to do this and how some people in this village got a discount while other people had to pay extra so they could have that discount.
I do have a quick question. How can someone explain the Enhanced Star? Like, how do you get your...
It's done, and I agree, if somebody has Enhanced Star, they should probably be eligible
I
for
don't
a
even know
discount.
what it is.
Enhanced Star has to do with your income, I believe. And if you have a certain, if you're under a certain level, you're entitled to Enhanced Star, which would make sense that those people then should get a discount. But that's not really written in any rule, and there's people who are getting the discount that aren't Enhanced Star.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Charlie.
You have to make under a certain
Anybody else?
amount of money to be eligible. No, it's not an 8, it's 65, yeah, you have to be 65.
All right, moving along.
In order to...
okay, accept the,
Okay.
Sorry, Steve.
It's okay.
Right, that's okay. That's what I wanted to make sure about. I didn't...
Hey everyone, my name is Stephen Plank. I'm 17 months as a water board commissioner, so I have a bit of experience when it comes to the senior rate. I live at 69 East Main Street. I resigned April 20th of this year. I want to give some documents to the village clerk, because I don't think that the information is transparent. It's not really coming out. So I feel like if I give the documents to you on camera, on record, anybody that wants to see them will know that they exist, and they can go ahead and foil them. So this email is to me, Stephen Plank, stephenplank@gmail.com, dated January 4th, 2026, which I hand to the village clerk. This document is also to me, stephenplank@gmail.com, Planck, Friday, June 27th, 2025. I'm also going to submit a couple of documents from See Through New York, specifically for Might have left that one at home, I apologize. But the documents that I gave the village clerk, they describe who initiated the senior water rate, how long the senior water rate's been in existence. I don't think it discusses the amount that it's cost the village taxpayers, but I do believe that's public knowledge because we discussed it at the water board meeting. Annually, it's $25,855 for 190 senior accounts. If the email that I received from a village employee is correct, the senior water rate has been around for quite some time, possibly 10 years. So we're looking at over $250,000 of unauthorized,
I think it might be a little longer, to be honest with you.
unauthorized discounts. I want to echo Charlie Ferry's statement as well. Her sentiment is that, and probably over here too, I'm not for it or against it, you know. I do believe strongly, based on the local law, the way it's written, it is a water board decision because that's the authority and power that this board designated to them. It was designated in 1920, March, you can see it in the minutes, and also in local law number 5 from 2011. I understand it's a political hot potato. However, you've designated that authority for rates, fees, and charges to the water board. And if they choose to do it or not, I think it actually lies with them. The other thing I want to give while I'm up here is I want to give a request for an ethics review. That'll be against a member of the board for not disclosing under the ethics violations in New York State and also the village code, and some other disclosures that pertain to the nomination.
To public comment, this way you could.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great. John, you want me to take that back and submit it later?
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Anyone else? All right. Accept the resignation of PA Zachary Canning effective April 23.
Get a motion?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Accept the resignation of Water Board member Stephen Plank effective April 20th.
Get a motion?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval Unbothered Bud LLC Route 9 Dispensary, route spelled R-O-O-T, dispensary advance notice reviewing their license. I met with the building inspector and he's fine with allowing them to renew their license. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Monthly updates, finance, treasurer.
Hello. So my name is Stephanie. I am the new treasurer here. I've only been here about 2.5 weeks. So the first order of business was to try to accurately project our budget, given the information that we had. Moving forward, my main concern is going to be updating our records and getting everything in our software system that needs to be in there in order to accurately keep track of our revenues and expenditures. I'm working on a June 1st date to have payroll back into Edmonds as well. And yeah, we're going to work on, obviously I'm here tonight, but I will work on a report to the board that will be submitted monthly in order to keep you guys informed so that you can make the decisions that you have to make.
Okay, Police Commissioner Fisher is not here. I believe
I have a
he's...
police report to read.
Commissioner's jacket.
No, oh, I don't have the commissioner's jacket. It's here somewhere. Let me see.
Have your email if you want.
Yeah. No, it's here.
Oh, it's coming back to you?
No, I got it. Okay. I got it. Okay. Total service calls, 463, 13 arrests, 145 traffic tickets, 11 parking tickets, 8 larcenies, 1 drug complaint, 19 motor vehicle accidents, 5 domestic disputes, 9 burglar holdup alarms, 5 calls to assist another agency, 10 other disputes or fights, 1 use of force incident, 405 other service calls. It doesn't, he doesn't say.
Trustee Vonka,
What?
how many parking tickets were there?
11,
One every 3 days.
145 traffic tickets.
Is that it?
That's it. That it?
Yeah, that's the report.
Legislative, Trustee Chimento.
No update as of now, other than working on getting an enforceable code on the books for one of our residents.
Highway, Superintendent Nicholas.
The big thing they're doing right now is MS4 catch basin cleaning, which requires 20%. Our crew does 100% every year, and we're mapping it. They were about 75% map, but we have to locate each one of them on paper. So that's taking a fair amount of time right now. They've already done several water digs this spring, water leaks, and replaced curb stops that aren't shutting off properly. This year, they plan to repave Prospect Street from 90 to South Miser, all of Goring, De Laverne from the town line and down to Nelson. That's the 3 that they have on the books for now, and depending on the budget and time, they have 3 more on the back burner for paving. We have several more days of basin cleaning because I'm slowing them down by having to look inside of each one and try to quantify the goop that's in there. So I am slowing it down. Central Hudson has 2 open road permits, Roy Avenue and Brick Road. And the brick building across the street that got flooded, they finished the cleaning. I guess it was used once last weekend too, so that looks pretty good. And my guys have a standby list of summer work just in case they run out of things to do. They've already started filling potholes, and we're going to start leveling sewer covers that have sunken and twisted.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Fire Chief.
All right, so our service calls for March, we had 21 automatic fire alarms, 6 motor vehicle accidents, 4 CO calls, 4 gas calls, 3 EMS calls, 2 flooding calls, and 2 people stuck in elevator calls due to power outages. We're still actively recruiting members between both houses. We are seeing an influx of members to one house currently right now. Otherwise than that, we did have a boat call a few weeks ago. A couple trustees did call me to follow up on it. Our boat was out of service. We're waiting on the axle hubs to be done on it, so it can be trailered down the road, so there's not a problem with the trailer hubs locking up. But that should be back in service by the end of the week. It's down at White's getting service currently right now. Otherwise than that, it's business as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Building Department, Inspector Deo.
I have his report. 29 new building permits, 21 permits closed out, 7 expired permits, 11 violations, 7 complaints, and $4,768 in fees collected. And he also gave me planning board agenda. 67 South Remsen Avenue was subdivision still sitting at the planning board, so if anybody wants to go and hear about that. And then 1605 Route 9, sign and painting of the exterior for the planning board. And that's it.
Lake, Mayor.
Well, the lake is looking nice right now. They'll be spraying for weeds shortly, probably within another month or so.
This is the last.
This is the last treatment, and I think we might be looking into doing a little more into the lake for the following year to get out almost to Route 9, because there's a 1,000-foot buffer zone between the bridge and somewheres in that lake there that we can't go, so we're going to be looking into that. That's really it.
All right, safety. You may recall that our insurance carrier, Nymir, did an audit back in December of several of the buildings, not all of them. There's still a few remaining. But of the ones they did look at, they pointed out 14 areas that needed to be corrected. To date, 5 of the 14 have been corrected, leaving 9 pending. Of the 9 pending ones, the mayors or the managers of those buildings are aware of what needs to take place to make those corrections, and I'm hoping they will be corrected by the end of June. That's it on that inspection. Recreation.
Recreation. Yep.
Trustee Tilishek.
The summer concert series will start this June, Fridays, 7 p.m. Information on that will be on the village website. Recreation Committee is currently planning a Juneteenth commemoration. That'll be on June 19th at Mizzier Park. And while not a recreation issue, the Mizzier Homestead, the Wampachus Historical Society, is formally opening their gardens this Saturday at 2 p.m. All are invited.
And summer camp signups
Are underway.
Yeah, they're underway. And how are we making out with our car show?
I have a proposal tonight if you guys are ready to listen, if it's okay.
When you want to take that public hearing?
No, we can do it
now, under recreation.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, but it's under recreation, so.
Yeah, is that okay?
Come on up, Marty.
No problem. Good evening, board. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, my throat's a little raspy tonight, and I apologize for that. Allergies are kicking me pretty good. So, Village of Wappingers Falls Fire Department. I belong to W.T. Gardner. I've been up there for about a year now. Standing in good standings, hopefully. Chief? Okay. My proposal is the Village of Wappingers Falls, W.T. Gardner, proposes hosting a community-focused car show fundraiser at Mizzier Park, one of the village's most historic and centrally located public spaces. The event will bring together residents, visitors, automotive enthusiasts for a family fun day featuring classic cars, modern build, custom vehicles, motorcycles, and fire department apparatus. What I propose to the community impact is raising funds for the fire departments, local organizations to help through and strengthen community connections with the fire department and with the residents of the village. Also, we want to promote fire safety awareness, have a fire truck there, have hands-on, let them come up and touch the truck, let them ask a firefighter what's going on. Maybe even have a smokehouse there and see if we can contact one of the local agencies to come up and have one of the what's the name of the dog, Chief? Sparky. Sparky the dog come up and walk around and shake the kids' hands. We also want to support local commerce. With the show, we can also have, basically, we want to help support the local businesses in the area and have them maybe donate some time or even donate a booth or work with other agencies maybe to come up and have some type of display as far as canines or police departments. And also family entertainment on a safe, scenic, and accessible village park. I think that we would do a good job there. I think we have a lot of access, and it's at a focal point in the village. The event details, I'm hoping for a August date on a Saturday. It's going to be between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And the admission to the public is free. Cars will be $10. There's going to be trophies, awards, apparatus displays, equipment demonstrations, and fire safety education. I think this is, we're going to have competitions as far as best classic, best modern, best paint, best motorcycle, people's choice, mayor's choice maybe. Maybe we can get them out of that? Okay. Basically, like I said, community activities. You meet the firefighters, sorry, and touch a truck, or basically, walk around and see what people can build, see what people's hobbies are. I've been a long-time car enthusiast. I'm also a builder, and I've been doing this for over 45 years. So, we're also going to have 50/50s, giveaways, trophies, and we're working with hopefully with local vendors. Maybe they can come out and maybe have a flea market as well. So there's a thing to do for both part of the families. Male, female, doesn't matter. I don't want to even get into that. But as far as so we can have stuff for the kids as well. Because I know when I go to a car show, my wife decides to go the other way, and I go, or if I go to a flea market, I'd go the other way too. So we'll have restrooms, hopefully, at the village there, and the staffing will be basically local police department, hopefully directing traffic, and local firefighters parking the cars and keeping an eye on everything, make sure everything's okay.
Thanks.
How many cars do you expect to have?
I'm hoping over 100.
Good.
I did walk Mizzier Park, and I think we can get about 300 cars if we're very careful not to park on the grass very well. But I think we can do it. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
I have a question for you. How are you getting it out that you want cars to come to the show?
Basically flyers, websites, articles on the fire department's website. Also, I used to belong to a lot of other fire departments, and I can share my information with those departments, and they'll put them out on their websites as well.
If you send something over to us, we can put it on the
Sure.
recreation page.
Sure, I can do that. Once we finalize the date, and we also have a rain date as well. So it's basically a Saturdays, which is great. A lot of the Sundays are already filled up by November already.
Right.
So I think Saturday will be a good idea. We'll go from there. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Court, trustee Nesnick.
Our Associate Justice has just finished his week-long training, and he's been back at the court and sitting on the bench. Things seem to be going well, so we're gonna just keep that going.
All right, thank you.
Cobbler Building, trustee Venka.
I don't have anything new to report on the Cobbler Building.
Thanks.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, that concludes the printed section of tonight's agenda.
So before we open up the public comment, I got a comment to make, and I think we need to address this because I find it very important, and it was some news by going down and look at it. I drove past this car on Mill Street for 2 years, never really paid attention to it, but besides it sitting alongside the road with no motor, half apart, and every other thing. After the water rescue call that we had, I drove by nice and slow and gave her a good look. The car doesn't have any license plates on it. It's not registered. It doesn't have an inspection sticker. So therefore, this car can be ticketed because we have to drive on a road with license plates, registration, inspection stickers, and if we don't, we get ticketed. This car is no different than any other car. So I believe we should be ticketing this car. We shouldn't be waiting for some law to be made because this car is being worked on alongside the road. It is not registered or not inspected.
Do you want to email the commissioner, or do you want me to?
If you don't mind, because it's just, it needs to be resolved. And
What's the address? Know the address?
I don't know the address. It's on Mill
Right,
Street.
Mill Street.
Last house on the
It's on the
left.
corner there, at the end of Mill.
Last house on the left?
Last house on the left if you're going towards the lake.
Correct.
And again, I mean, I've driven past this car for a long time, really never took a good look at it, but I took a good look at it this time. This car does not have any of that stuff.
And you have reels.
From what I was told, but maybe against vehicle and traffic.
Oh, just
The officer Reynolds will take a look at it tonight when you're driving by.
What's that?
You can't tow it. It's up in the air. It's.
Oh, they can get it towed.
That's it.
All right, that's all I have. If anybody else has anything.
Just a quick point, I guess. John, I know you had told me, I'm sorry, trustee Tilshak, my mistake, there's two Johns. The date for the village-wide yard sale, can you tell me that just one
May
more time?
16th.
May 16th. And that's only one day, right? It's not the weekend?
It is the weekend of May 16th.
The weekend of the 16th, okay. All right.
Same day as Arts in the Park.
Yeah, I'll put it on there.
All right, anybody else? No. Open up to the public? Charlie?
Not fast enough.
You just adopted a budget without really any public hearing on it. Public hearing is not a mere formality. It's a statutory requirement intended to allow for meaningful public comment. By presenting a copy and paste budget on April 8th, public hearing, and then rewriting it nearly every line in secret before tonight's vote, this board has effectively denied the residents the right to a public hearing on the actual budget. You have adopted a document that the taxpayers have had zero opportunity to inspect and debate about. This isn't just a failure of transparency, it's a calculated attempt to bypass the democratic process. When you had your budget hearing on April 8th, it was the 2026 budget. Copy and pasted exactly, every number in there was the same. But yet the budget you adopted tonight, just about every line is changed without any public hearing. It's wrong. I realize that it often feels useless to attempt to meaningfully address a board that has embedded itself so deeply in secrecy. From a lack of adherence to legal procedures to a total failure to recognize that the public is an integral part of this government. You have fundamentally disconnected yourselves from the people you serve. I just want to talk basically first about your meritless pay raises that you're providing for yourselves. It's reprehensible that your top priority is self-compensation while you operate in secrecy and consistently fail to address the most basic quality of life issues in our village. For instance, this is the third month in a row that this truck has been a conversation. It's up on whatever they are, jacks. There's no tires. It's on the sidewalk. People have been coming to this board saying it's unsafe, it needs to be removed, and you people do nothing. You say, oh, we can't do anything. You, the police commissioner, the whole place. What are you here for? What are you here for if you can't take care of this stuff? Garbage cans right around the corner from Trustee Vonka's house. There's garbage cans are stored on the sidewalks. Residents have complained about it. Nothing gets done. But yet you think you deserve to give yourselves a raise. I don't understand it. There's plenty of other places that money could go. For instance, maintaining a park, replacing that fence down there at the park in the second ward, or fixing the trail over there in Messier Park that's been discussed a bunch of times, but you don't. But instead, $6,000 more for a board of trustees. I personally don't think you deserve it. You should remove it. But unfortunately, we didn't have a public hearing. You've already adopted the budget before I can comment on it. And there's one other thing I have on here is the matter of $750,000 that remains unaccounted for in this budget. You adopted a financial plan that leaves nearly $750,000 in the shadows. To date, we provided no clear explanation of why you moved $750,000 from the water fund to the general fund. It appears to me, because you've refused to give any documentation on why you moved that money, that it was to take care of a deficit in the general fund. And I'll ask any of you to prove me I'm wrong. Provide the documentation. You don't have it. So if you had to take $750 to get out of a deficit this year, why isn't it in the budget? It doesn't even show up on the budget. It's the line that says transfer funds is blank on the budget for this year. Unless there's another copy. That's the public budget that I saw. I'm just going to end by saying that the residents of Wabash Falls deserve better. I can only hope that next year's election will finally result in the ethical, responsive, and honest government that the community deserves. Thank you.
Can I make a comment just to clarify?
So I know there's a lot of buzz about the two transfers that were done for October and November. So I just want to explain the typical process. So what happens is everything for our accounts payable filters through the general fund. It is all paid from the general checking account. Therefore, every time a warrant is accepted, we have to then move the money that was expensed to sewer, water, and garbage. And ideally, those would be moved timely with each warrant. However, in the last year, there was some delay and there were bulk transfers, but they were true due to due froms from what accounts payable and what the various funds owed to general. And in fact, there's actually even more money that is owed to general. I am currently researching this, and I can tell you that there is going to be more money that is owed to general from water, sewer, and garbage. So I did just want to clarify that is our process. It is a normal process that everything filters through the general account. And these are true due to due froms. There were, from what I can see, from June till current, there were no actual inter-fund loans made in this current fiscal year. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Before you go, Stephanie, how much do you anticipate
Actually,
additional?
I did work on this a little bit. So just from accounts payable alone, I can tell you that there's going to be, I actually don't have the two totals of the transfers that were done in October and November. But from what I can see, those transfers that were done in October and November were for October and November. So we have July, August, and September, along with December, January, and February. It does look like beginning in March, due to accounts payable, the transfers were taking place in the bank account. So I can tell you that all those months need to be looked at and figured out. And I could also, so it is going to be more. I mean, just looking at from July to, not the current warrant that was just passed today, but the one from 4/16, the amount of that is owed from water to general is $492,000, sewer owes general $744,000, and garbage owes general $498,000. Again, that is just accounts payable from 7/22 to 4/16. Again, out of those figures are those other two transfers done. So some of it got moved, but there's still more to be moved. And then we also have to look into payroll. Because payroll was not being reported, the funds were not being moved for payroll either. So both water, sewer, or all water, sewer, and garbage actually owe the general money for payroll as well. And I'm going to look in to make sure that our, again, the debt service payments that all came out, I believe, of general. So we just have to verify whether or not any of those need to come from the respective fund that it should have.
Do those funds have enough in the account to cover what's going to be removed?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say something.
That's all and good, but it looks like the commissioner's been asking for quite a long time for the checks and balances of this. Anytime there's something going out, there should be receipts to correlate and match up. So if we're not doing it in a timely manner and the amounts don't match, you should be able to produce some type of invoices or some type of documentation stating that this is what it's for. And that's what the concern is here. It's not that who owes what or if this money belongs to who. Can we show proof that this was actually used for this? And me being a citizen here, being in a village, I'm quite concerned that this information is not being transparent. What I have seen is my water bill double in the past 4 years. What I have seen is the lack of transparency. What I have seen is the arguing back and forth between the three different commissioners and the water board commissioner, as well as other people in the village who are quite concerned, as am I, on why this is not being transparent. I work in a bank, honey. I know what checks and balances are. And I also need to show proof of where something came and where it's going. And I think this village needs to do a better job of being transparent. If that's the case, produce the documentation so that we can see that this true indeed was an expense for the water board. Thank you.
Can I?
Can I say it? She just started here.
I've been here 2 weeks. I understand, but that's what I'm saying. How do you have so much information on what this is if you just started 2 weeks ago? So it's not what you, this is how it's always been, you just started here. So, doesn't mean it's right.
So before Steve
I'm not taking it personally.
Before Steve starts, and Stephanie, you might want to explain the difference of an interfund transfer that has to come before the board and be recorded, and regular maintenance of when a warrant is signed by trustees, and that does not have to come before the board to be signed.
I've got, do you want me to say that?
Whatever is going to be more comfortable for you.
Sorry.
Okay, so technically, yes. In my experience, when you sign off on the warrant, at the back of each abstract warrant, whatever you want to call it, there is a breakdown by fund of what expense GLs are being hit as pertaining to what fund. So when you sign that warrant, you are declaring that those funds need to be transferred into the general account to cover those expenses. And then again, with payroll, certain people, it depends on the budget distribution of what needs to be transferred for payroll. Again, I can't really speak to the level of transparency to, moving forward. Yes. Can I make sure that, a big thing is doing these things in a timely manner where the amounts perfectly match up with what is in the abstract, is in the weekly payroll. It's really not up for debate at that point because the numbers that you don't even have to try to make rhyme or reason of it. They're there. So, and again, the difference between these true due to, due froms, this is again, they were labeled as housekeeping, and that's exactly what they are. It's housekeeping. Like I said, everything filters through the general fund. This is a common practice of doing that. So there's nothing to, even to approve at that point. I mean, we can certainly provide a document. Obviously, a part of my document as treasurer to report to the board. In my previous experience as a treasurer, I did provide those transfers. I broke down AP again. I gave cash balances in the bank. I gave notable revenues, notable expenses, for the board's eyes on a monthly basis. So I am 100% ready to be 100% transparent and giving you guys the information that you need to do your jobs. And then just to touch on the inter-fund transfers. So typically, the two options, there are several, we'll just say personal service lines that you put into a budget, say the mayor, the board of trustees, the treasurer, the clerk, where they're technically not just the mayor, treasurer, clerk for the general fund. I do payroll for everyone, water, sewer, so in certain positions, you can turn around and say, well, a portion of that should be coming from the other funds. Now, can you divide that up in the actual budget and put half of my salary in general and then stick portions of it into personal service lines and other funds? You can do that. Or what I proposed for this budget was to make a clear, so the full salaries are listed in the general budget, and then for a portion of us, I created the calculation. The calculation was provided with the budget that was posted yesterday of how we got to that 187. And it's a breakdown of our salary and contractual lines that are technically an expense of the entire village, not just the general fund. So those are built into the budget as true due froms. You see the 187 going into general, and you see 75 coming out of water, 75 coming out of sewer, and I believe it's 37 coming out of garbage. So.
Why are we commingling funds and each one don't have their separate funds?
I've never experienced it. I mean, they are technically separate funds, but everything.
I mean, accounts. Why are we doing everything from a general account instead of having like a payroll account?
Well, we do.
Water account?
We do. We
General account, what are we referencing?
So the general fund, so when we do an accounts payable, so we issue payment based on whatever invoices and that we got for, typically AP is run every 2 weeks. When you have a meeting, you would typically issue a warrant and send out any payments that were collected in that 2 weeks. So instead of having 4 separate, sections of creating checks, all those checks clear from the general fund. So now all you have to do, it's not a complicated process though. Right at the end of the warrant, it tells you from what fund all the expenses, say you have $400,000, 100 of it's general, 200 of it's water, 100 of it's sewer. So now sewer and water owe general that money because everything is coming out of general in the bank account.
Can you clear this up by separating that and having its own account for that particular, like the water department have their own water account?
I mean, they do. We just transfer it to the general fund to cover. I mean, I've never seen a municipality do it that way. This is my experience, is that everything clears out of general.
I've worked at M&T and we've worked with the city of Peekskill and places like that, and they've all had their own accounts and none of the funds would commingle. And that's transparency right there, because you can specifically see when those invoices come and when those checks go out. And I think that's the big issue here, that we can't see what's coming in, what's coming out, and what's for, and we have to rely on word instead of checks and balances.
So, actually, it is signed every month, and it does give you a complete total. So the information is there. If you're looking for it, and it is part of the warrant, and it separates itself out as to exactly where the money's going. But thank you.
All right, Steve.
Steve Plank, 69 East Main Street. I asked for that separate account.
I think that's what everyone does. I never heard of this before.
Didn't go very far.
Okay, we're not going to talk out, everybody. You're at the podium. You're at the well, you shouldn't be. Can we talk to the board?
So I asked for that separate account, as some of you may recall, to avoid this uncomfortable situation that I've been raising for well over a year. And I think whether it was any of the previous treasurers or this one, it is not a personal attack against them whatsoever. It is a matter of transparency. And if you all get a resolution in front of you that asks you to transfer $225,123, when Greg Hansen was here before he left, I would have expected as just a normal human being that you would have seen those receipts, you would have added them up, and you would have gotten that documentation to be able to comfortably look anybody in the eye today, for those of you who were here when that happened, and say, yes, I saw those receipts. It's valid. I know exactly what that money was for, what it went to pay for. And here I am, a now resigned water board commissioner, because I, for whatever reason, I filed the FOIL, as you are all well aware, and I'm still over a year waiting for that simple transparency that is driving so many of the residents nuts. And they shouldn't, I don't think these simple questions should be met with so much resistance and pushback. It raises red flags. It just doesn't make any sense. So I have to agree with, the people behind me and kind of what they're expressing. On to my ethics complaints. I got a chance to talk to Jordan beforehand. I didn't get a chance to talk to you. One of my ethics complaints involves you, but it's not a personal attack against anybody, okay? My complaint is about the process. So let me read out loud so you can hear it. Everybody knows it's coming from me. You don't have to hear any rumors. This submission is made in good faith and is not intended as a reflection on the character, the qualifications, or the integrity of the individuals. This raises concerns regarding procedural compliance, conflict of interest safeguards, and the proper exercise of appointment authority under village law and the New York State Municipal Ethics Standards. This has nothing to do with people that I've never met, never even talked to, family who owns a deli that I routinely go into with my son. It's not a personal attack against anybody. It's just I don't feel like you're following the rules, and I'm calling you out on it. So this first ethics complaint.
Steve, I will interrupt. If you have a specific complaint that you want to submit to the board, then...
I am.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to get into specifics.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm submitting two for two different people. I think lastly, not only is someone who's been on the other side of the desk, but also is a ratepayer and a taxpayer in the village, I'm concerned that you all are good people, but you're not working well together. Okay? Why do I feel that way? There's a series of events, and I'm going to list some of them, not all of them.
You got a minute.
Thank you. A $5 million loan for aging infrastructure that was 5 years in the making is gone. 4 years of annual financial reports missing. The $3.2 million grant to remove particles from the public water supply is in jeopardy. The $750,000 transfers out of the water department still remain undocumented a year later. The February 13th, 2026 Munistat letter, if nobody has read it or ever know that it exists, it's a good document to foil. The senior water rate, which by your own admits you now know is unauthorized, but people on this board are still receiving it. It makes no sense to me. Obviously, the poor financial oversight that's listed in the comptroller's report. The $250,000 of grant money that's misappropriated. Benefits for employees that I know are not being paid or paid late. I'm not going to read that one out loud. I will read this one, though, because I'm aware of female employees that have been brought to tears while I was a water board commissioner because they were being harassed and threatened. And I think that type of behavior, above anything else, bringing a woman to tears is quite unacceptable. And lastly, to what happened today with the budget, as I understand it, I read it this morning, so if it got changed after that, I apologize. But when I read it, there was a 17% increase to the water bills, a 16.69% increase to the sewer bills, and a 4.56 increase to the tax bills. That's what I read this morning. That hurts. Thank you.
Kathy?
Kathy Misaki, 18 Adams Street. I think with the water department, I think what happened, and Rick, I think maybe you'll remember, back in the day, the water department and the lake fund were separate entities. No money was supposed to be touched. Am I right?
Correct.
You were on the board.
Correct.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, people were removed because they weren't allowing the money to be touched. Okay? I think this is what's happened. The money is being taken away. I don't know when it started after that, what year that started. When
I
you
would say
started
mid-90s.
taking money from the water fund and the lake fund. I think this is what happened. It just got out of control. We're taking money from there where it shouldn't have been taken from, and wasn't being put back. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer is to this. I don't. But I do want to know, discussion to eliminate the senior water rate, when would that be? Would that be at a water board meeting, or next month, or when?
I was hoping the board was going to discuss it tonight, not the residents. I was hoping that everybody was going to put their input in tonight, but they didn't, so.
My input for that would be, we need to set up a proper procedure. I don't want to see that rate get rid of. I don't want to see that rate gone and not accessible. I think that you guys are all right, where we need a proper procedure for it to be.
Rescheduled again.
There needs to be, I believe, a public hearing on it. Whether the water board kicks that off first, I think the board should take care of that now in conjunction with the water board, as it's brought to the attention of everyone. So that should be a joint effort if anything is going to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm speaking at that.
Correct.
But that's my opinion, is that that rate should not be gone. It just needs to be a proper, if you're this age, you receive the rate. You're eligible for the rate. If you don't want to take the rate, that's on you. But a proper application process and everything needs to be put in
So it
place.
will be discussed more.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
If
Anything
I
else?
may, and I believe we don't have anything written in law. It has to be written in law. My understanding is it's not
It's not in the
law right now.
E-code at all, and that's what.
It doesn't have to be a local law. It's recommended that you have a formal policy adopted with a formal resolution, so it's clear, it's transparent, everybody knows what it is, there's a record of it. And that's my recommendation to the board, is that they determine how they want to handle it, and then once they handle it, we can formalize the process for it.
I stand corrected. We don't need a law, we need a formal written policy that
Correct.
anybody can refer to.
Now, if it's based off income and age, obviously, the rate is something that, I don't know, that's obviously something that we need to discuss. But if it's just based off age, then the rate, I would say the discount wouldn't be as heavy, right? Because everyone turns a certain age, God willing,
You gotta
right?
get a hand start.
Right, so that's another thing too that I want to talk about.
Say that again, Kevin? Mayor?
It's more of an enhanced star.
Well, I don't know, some people, I'm assuming are getting it without the enhanced star.
Well,
That's what we're hearing tonight.
What's that?
That's what we're hearing tonight, supposedly. I mean, we don't know how true it is.
Well, if we put in a policy in place that states that's what you have to have, if you have to reside in the house, you have to be over a given age, you have to have a hand star, then you meet that criteria, you're eligible, you get it. You don't meet that criteria,
You don't get it.
you don't get it.
But there has to be that formal process that
Correct.
everyone knows about. It
Correct.
should be visible to everyone, so people can take advantage of it, but
All right, anything else?
that's the discussion. I guess that we should have.
Kathy Regan, 32 High Street. I was always under the impression that you could not have an unregistered car on your property or on the street, and the village actually has an ordinance. So that person should be fined and the car should be towed away.
Agree with you 100%. We talked about it. I think you might have stepped outside when
Oh, no, I
you were
heard
okay.
it. Yeah, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
go look.
Yeah,
It's like the car shouldn't be sitting there.
correct.
That's my thing.
Hopefully we
I
can
did
solve
have,
that.
I have had the senior rate, and I've been on and off Enhanced Star over the years. I can't tell you how I got it, but I've had it, so. And if it's gonna be a senior rate, it should be senior and not based on Enhanced.
Right, and that's
or-
what, it should, then that's, if it's based on age, the
Right.
discount obviously.
I mean, if it's gonna be senior,
Right.
you're a senior.
Well, enhanced is both. You have to be 65 and make under a certain amount of money.
But if we're calling it a senior
Right,
water.
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Call it an
Right.
enhanced rate.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Steve?
The way I understand Chapter 148 is that rates and fees and charges are all under the jurisdiction of the Water Board. Again, I understand this is a political hot potato, but that authority has been designated to the Water Board of Commissioners. That happened in March of 1920, and it happened again, local law number 5, 2011. Fees, rates, and charges are the responsibility of the Water Board of Commissioners, not the Village Board. And in terms of the cargoes, my son and I were over there fishing today. We actually got a chance to talk to the gentleman. I told him that you're all gunning for him. And he seems to be a really nice guy. And I think that, again, not taking one side of it or the other. Certainly I don't live there, I don't drive past there. But I just want to make it known that he has no place to work on that car. It won't fit in his garage, and he has no driveway. Just food for thought.
Law's a law. I mean, you need a license plate, you need registration, you need an inspection sticker. Law's a law. I don't make the laws. It's the state of New York law. Anybody else? You get a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
In favor?
Oh, wait,
Wait.
wait.
Oh.
Aye.
Well, oh,
Budget?
I'll give you mine.
It's right here.
I'll give you mine.
There's copies
On the table. On the table. You're welcome.
I'll make the motion to adjourn to executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Let me know if you need anything.